teams sa first season ninyo and sino nag-champion?
Ang mga sumali were 4 teams, si Enderan, si FEU, si Army, at saka si Gilas. So, by default, nag-champion dun si Gilas. Pero Army put up a great fight because si Army is composed of ex-UAAP players, yung mga yan, ex-Gilas as well.
Okay, next question. Julie po.
So, all in all, how many schools, how many teams ang regular na kasali dito sa mga liga mo? Para meron lang tayong idea how big is Pinoy Liga, iba-ibang tournaments.
Ma'am Judith, ang aming stakeholders on the school side will always be the 18 UAAP and NCAA schools. So meron tayong we're building a very nice relationship with all of them. But at the same time, inclusive tayo. Kasi ang gusto rin natin maintindihan ng schools like Olfu, Enderan, ng St. Clair, ng Immaculada Concepcion, that they have a platform, that they have an opportunity to compete because that's the tenet of competition. Eh. If you compartmentalize it to a few, then paano naman yung iba? Then the growth of basketball will be curtailed. The question now is, paano naman sila? Saan kami papasok? Because ang daming muhon eh. UAAP, NCAA, NCRAA, ISAA, you name it, CESAFI, NAASCO. Now, who will be the big brother? That's the question, because there has to be an enabler. We're not saying that we're on top of everyone, but we complement you. Kasi ang gusto namin gawin is to make out a process where lahat ng magagaling sa inyo, iangat natin. We uplift basketball by doing that eh. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, syempre silos kasi sila. For every tournament, there's a silo. Syempre, iba't iba nagpapatakbo niyan eh. But if we create a very harmonious relationship with each one of them by telling them that there's an opportunity for you to be with us in a very competitive landscape to show competition, and let's bring back amateurism to college basketball or at least to varsity basketball. Then, again, we go back to what will be the ambag of PinoyLiga Cup 10, 15 years from now when we look back.
Okay. Saan ulit yung venue?
Ang venue, ma'am, and nilalagay namin siya in respect to gaano kalaki. Normally kasi 80% of games in the collegiate level, hindi naman siya malaki. So ang 80%, 70 to 80% ng games namin are school-based. So sometimes we go to Perpetua, sometimes we go to EA, pero ang home namin is Enderan Colleges, but on big games we play it at Amoranto. And of course, with the support of the federation, we're hoping na sana dyan sa kapitbahay natin makapaglagay tayo. So that, you know, kasi I'm a big fan of NCAA because I came from San Beda. So pag nandito kasi sa Rizal Memorial, that's one, pag inisip ko yan talaga ang bahay ng college basketball. So if you bring it back, diba, there's the nostalgia, but at the same time, you go back to the generation of the day and tell them that, you know, many things happened here. Something like that.
Yes, questions? Yes, Waylon? Sandali, ano munang feedback? Since this is your third year, di ba? Third year ng PinoyLiga Cup. Okay. Yung feedback sa mga schools, yung mismong mga reaction niya, maybe after the first, the second, and ngayon na nasa third.
Well, in terms of reaction, siguro, how to call it? Siyempre, it's not perfect. At the end of the day, they will have their own agendas. At the end of the day, sasabihin, referee, this and that. But on the general landscape, we're happy to understand that year on year, nagpa-participate sila. Year on year, they understand that in terms of basketball and collegiate basketball in the Philippines, we might be providing them the help that they need in terms of preparing for their major leagues.
Good morning, Benny. Lito Redo sa Benny, yung mga liga mo involves the elite universities, no? And right now, yung technology natin, usually lahat ng platform nakatingin sa social media, no? yung liga mo ba, yung mga tournament mo ba available sa lahat ng mga media platforms? And I think meron kang isang technology na unique para sa Pinoy Liga.
Yeah, the questions are dito. We're happy to tell you guys that from the time bumalik tayo from the pandemic, we were one of the few leagues that were able to capitalize on how social media works. Kasi papunta muna ako sa history, no? Ang history kasi ni PinoyLiga Cup, before pandemic, we were 2,500 followers. After pandemic, by 2024, we're at 122. So the whole point in what I'm saying is that because of the power of social media and capitalizing on it and understanding that the direction of social media is video driven, doon namin dinala yun sa dito eh. So ginawa namin, even before a lot of these tournaments were doing reels, we were doing it already. And then eventually, big brands like Smart and Smart Sports, they were able to support us. In fact, yung lahat ng laro namin, mapapanood natin sa Facebook page namin, sa YouTube page namin, sa Smart Sports, and we're even at the VOD, video on demand platform nila, which is the Smart Live Stream app. We're capable of providing the live stream of the games of all of our games through those platforms on socials. Now, on the live stat side, Pinoy Liga at the end of the day, and I've been very vocal about this, is actually a software. It's a software that digitizes yung basketball stats. And tama ka sir dito, that's one of the unique things that we have. So I go back, yung power of social media and the power of digital, kinonvert namin siya into to basketball. Kaya ngayon, we're able to move things around in the basketball space. Be creative with it kasi meron kaming platform. And of course, the manpower behind it. Kasi hindi naman gagalaw yung social media at saka yung digital campaigns mo kung wala kang creative manpower behind it eh. So ito, lahat ng ito, we put things together.
Benny, isang complete cycle na yung program mo, no? From grassroots to elite hanggang doon sa mga thunders na. O ano lang. Right now ba, yung support doon sa mga liga mo, is it enough para sustain yung tournament mo, yung mga referees nyo, yung flow ng cycle?
Another good question, Sir Lito. Siguro, a caveat to those that would want to create tournaments, it's not financially rewarding. But if you create a good enough business model and you create a good enough foresight on it, then it might be feasible. To us, we look at this from a business point of view as a 5-year projection. So, ang sinasabi nga namin dito is, kung bubuo ka ng isang brand, magbigay ka sa sarili mo ng 5 taon. Kasi kung gagawin mo yan at sasabihin mo sa 1 taon, kikita ka na, hindi mangyayari yan. Pangalawa, kung titignan mo yan sa pera, mahihirapan ka rin. So kung gagawin natin to ng 5 taon, na ang tinginan natin is after this 5 year, that would be enough reason for us to build enough infrastructure o yung brand namin lumalaki. At kung kumita kami doon, that's good enough for us. If at the end of the day, yun yung naging dent namin or naging ambag namin to Philippine basketball, then so be it. But at the end of the day, Sir Lito, the model would always be having all of these brands look at us and look at us as an advertising model as well. Kasi yung sports marketing in the Philippines, medyo hindi pa siya kasing mature as that in the States. Kasi when you go back to the States, NCAA, NIL, all of these stuff, are geared towards branding and corporate sponsorships. Here in the Philippines, it's very, very infant because you know who are the people that will support. In fact, they're nandito sila sa likod eh. Pero pag tinignan mo mabuti, and if sports marketing is actually something that we push forward in the academy level, then baka mamaya 10-15 years down the line, we would have talagang sports marketers that understands the dynamics of branding, of sports marketing, sports branding, etc. etc.
Benny, last question.